just feels like my legs are not long enough. What's going on? Take your hand and physically find their scapula, the bone that is their shoulder blade. Take your hand and physically find their deltoid muscle, the round part of their shoulder muscle, front, middle, and rear. Scapula, the bone, deltoid, the shoulder muscle and complex. When I include those two pieces in my lock, it will never feel like my legs are long enough to lock a good triangle. Okay? Even if his arm stays here, I can grab my shin, scoop grip, and use the inside of my knee. Some of you were here for class earlier this week, and I mentioned that every offensive guard, the inside of the knee is what makes contact with the person. That's still true when we do submissions here. I take the inside of my knee, where my left hand is, and I push against his deltoid. Now, I did not move his arm across to that. I did not grab his head and pull down. But he'll tell you this, he's going to sleep. There is no argument to be had here. When I lock, I do a check. I'm not going to lock this tight. I take my hand, I physically find that scapula and that deltoid again. It's behind my legs. It's outside my lock. People feel like their legs are not long enough because they go out of their way to include the scapula and deltoid inside of their lock. Don't do this. Go out of your way to get it out of your lock. And then make sure you check as your first line is so you can make sure you did a good job. Then check that lock on the back of the head. It's probably already there. Okay? Thank you. But this is something, this is one of these, I'll come in for a minute. This is one of those lessons, if I had trouble with triangles when I was first starting off in jiu-jitsu, I fortunately did not, but I've seen so many people have trouble with triangles. This is the lesson that you're looking for. Sear this into your brain right now because it'll serve you for the rest of the time you do jiu-jitsu. Check scapula and deltoid. Physically do this, check, and then go out of your way to expel them from your lock and make that the effort of your adjustment in a triangle. Most of a triangle is first setting that trap triangle, then adjusting it until they tap. A lot of times people are just not sure what they're trying to accomplish when they adjust. So I watch them and I'm like, okay, you made 3 good adjustments and 1 kind of really terrible one that ruined your triangle. But it's unknown when they're doing it. They don't know what they're trying to accomplish. You're trying to get the shoulder out and the scapula out, and you want that lock on the back of the head. You do those things, you're gonna finish all your triangles, okay? There's a question here.
What's preventing him from pulling away as you're making that adjustment?
Great question, great question. What's preventing him from pulling his arm out? When we're here, let's look at how that could happen, okay? I grip, I scoop. Now, instead of the inside of my knee pushing, I make a big swing. I'm gonna exaggerate right now, like this, to try and lock. You can imagine what this would be like. If I do that, now his arm can come out. Why? Because what stops him is not the shoulder being locked, but the elbow. It's his elbow that keeps him locked here. As long as the inside of my knee never swaps locations with his elbow, now he's out. If the inside of my knee, even without my legs locked, can you put your arm up? No grip. My knee is holding him in place because of the geometry of his elbow being locked into my hip and knee. This, his arm comes out 100% of the time. Come back. Looks very similar. There's no tension in this position holding his elbow. Hold the elbow and then lock. Okay. Great question. Anything else? Hands up. 3, 2.